I don't know why it did that. Had to sign in on my phone because I was feeding the geese. So I'm going to start this over again while I fix the camera.
Listen up, I gotta tell you, there is something you should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore.
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hey, y'all. You'll have to let me know if you like the camera right here. I don't know. I don't know if I like it. I don't know how I'm feeling about this. Good to see y'all. Thank you for being here. Ruth Ann, Southern Cats, Forrest, Curious, Christine, good to see you. Jenny Jen, good to see you. Hio, good to see you. Thank you for your help this morning. Scratch the Paint, good to see you. Mustang, good to see you, my love. So glad y'all are here. Allie X, good to see you. Jenny Jen, A1 from day one. Hannah UK, thank you for being here. Thank you to my mods. You guys are amazing. Lorianne, good to see you, love. Forrest, I'm so glad that you're here today. I hope y'all are doing good. Okay, I think I got everybody that's here so far. One sunny day. Good to see you, love. Thank you for being here. Mrs. North, good to see you. I love that picture of you. Good to see you guys. Allie X, good to see you. All right. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. Ruth Ann, yay. You're here while court is on lunch. What case is that? Let's see. What case is going on? I'm waiting for, don't tell me it's the one that I'm waiting on. Virginia versus Brendan Banfield, the all pair affair homicide. Let me check. Let me use my little thingy majiggy, and we'll pull up YouTube and see what's going on. I do feel better. The all pair case, yeah. I do feel better. I feel a lot better today. I apologize about yesterday. It was just weird, man. It was just weird. So I'm going to try to get that stream out. I'd like to edit some things out of it. I might not put it back out. Excuse me. So I don't know. I ain't decided. I do have some documents. I had to come early today. So we are earlier than normal. I had to come early today because I've got some appointments this afternoon. But I did want to come and talk to you about two things specifically. We've got documents and lots of things to discuss. The autopsy has come out in the Jacqueline Mimi Torres case, and it's very, very fucking upsetting. Ruth Ann said, yes, it is. Defense seems like he's floundering today. That's interesting. All right, well, since y'all are here on break, I'm going to try to go ahead and get through this so you guys can get the information before you go back to your trial. So let's talk about Jacqueline. So her autopsy somehow has been released. The general public usually can't get autopsies on minors because she's under the age of 18. So we'll start with this one. This one has a video. We got some information on it, and it's really, really upsetting. No, I'm not sure I did. Hold on. Let me see. I saw you said hi, Kirstine. Okay, and if I go up before that, Candle for the Missing, Lori N. Did you know that Rebecca Haro is hearing today? Oh, what time? Let's see if we can find it. Hold on. Hold, please. They don't have it scheduled. Let's see. They don't have it scheduled. Let me do a search real quick. Hold on. All right, I found something, but it's not the actual hearing. Let's see what it says. Let me timestamp this, and we'll see what it says. 1443. I'm using the wrong color Post-it note for that pen. All right, now. What it says from News Channel 3 is that Rebecca Haro is due back in court in case tied to disappearance and homicide of her 7-month-old son. This is from Riverside, California. California, Rebecca Haro is due back in court today for a felony settlement conference in the case related to the death of her 7-month-old son, Emmanuel. Haro, 41, is still in custody at the Robert Presley Detention Center. She has pled not guilty to the charges related to Emmanuel's death, which was caused by prolonged abuse, according to the investigation. I would like for you to scroll now. Thank you. A felony settlement conference is a pretrial proceeding where the prosecution and defense counsel meet to determine if a case can be settled without a trial. Her husband, co-defendant Jake Mitchell Haro, pled guilty in October of 2025. He received a sentence of 25 years to life in state prison and is currently incarcerated at California Men's Colony in San Luis Obispo. Despite the conviction, officials have said Emmanuel's body has not been located. Let me check back over here. That's all I'm seeing so far on it. So, but they probably haven't had court yet, if I had to guess. So I will try to keep an eye on that and see if we can find it. Abellis, did I see you? Hey, Abellis. I want to look for the Northern Lights. I haven't looked for them yet. I'm so glad you're here. I don't like her deal, but the good thing about that is I heard Judge doesn't have to go along with it. Yeah, that's good. She needs to answer for what she did. Both of them do, really. I mean, I know Haro's in prison, but I need more from him. I need more answers. All right, so we're going to talk about Jacqueline Mimi Torres. We covered this case in a while ago. We saw body cam from around the time it was during the time that she was like there but missing. Jacqueline Mimi Torres was reported missing, and her body was found later in a bin by an abandoned house. They have somehow news companies got a hold of her autopsy report and have gotten the cause of death, and it's just really not good. So I wanted to read it with you. I guess we'll get frustrated. My girl Tiff, good to see you. Court got pushed back a bit. Thank you for that. I appreciate that update. So court got pushed back a bit in the Haro case. Hopefully we'll hear something. I'm sure Mark is covering that too. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I've got a lot of bedazzled stuff. I got to finish doing it to all of this like I want to do. Oh, you probably can't see it, but yeah. She's supposedly getting a deal. Oh, okay. You're talking about that. Okay, I got you. All right. Well, this article reads that a report reveals that drugs, severe starvation in 11-year-old Mimi Torres-Garcia case. So Mimi Torres was given drugs, and her cause of death was starvation. Do you know? Let me show you something. Since we're talking about starvation. Because that's just horrible. What is her damn name? Eugenia Cooley? E-U-G-E-N-I-A. Think? Yeah. Look at this. Okay. This girl, she's got a disorder, and a lot of people have tried to help her. She will not eat. It's obvious, you know, that she's got something going on there, right? I don't know if she's still posting or not. But like you can see how small she is. Let me see. Like here, this was 2 years ago. Right? Like she's still up walking around. She is starving herself, and it's really, really bad. So in order to die from starvation, can you imagine like how small you would have to be, how bad it would have to get? Hey, Angela, good to see you. Cracker Jacks, good to see you. People have been doing welfare checks on her to make sure she's okay, but you can see her fucking bones and shit. Like, some people have gotten more recent pictures, like probably off of TikTok or something, and it's really bad. People have reached out to try to get her help. But like even these boots, they're supposed to be skin tight. You can see how big they are. Like it's so bad. So I show you that to say that do you understand like how bad it has to be to actually die from starvation? Because she's alive like that. These people need to rot in hell. So here's a video on the autopsy report we're going to watch real quick.
Right now at 6, breaking news in the death of 11-year-old Jacqueline Mimi Torres-Garcia.
She does.
NBC Connecticut Investigates explains what her autopsy reveals about her death. Thank you for joining us.
11 years old, y'all. 11 years old, and her cause of death was starvation and drugs that were in her system. They were giving her drugs, I'm assuming to sedate her, and starving her to death. Forrest said the worst part of food disorders is that help sometimes it doesn't help, and it's so sad. I couldn't imagine. That's one thing. I mean, I would like not eat like I was supposed to lose weight, but I've never been diagnosed with anything like that. And I mean, I just that's got to be hard. And my thoughts and prayers go out to those dealing with stuff like that. I know bulimia can mess up your esophagus and shit. It's horrible, and nobody should ever have to deal with that. People will love you no matter if you weigh 700 pounds or freaking 107 pounds. It doesn't matter. You'll be loved regardless. Eugenia Cooney is a sad story. The truth is she's an adult and can do what she wants to herself. She's in a lawsuit now. Really? I didn't know that. Angela, good to see you. She did look anorexic. No, Eugenia Cooley did not die. We're talking about Mimi Torres, who was starved to death. I was giving you an example of Eugenia Cooley because she should be like, she's really bad. Talking about starvation. So just imagine how bad it had to be for an 11-year-old girl to die from it. And it was her parents not feeding her and keeping her drugged.
This evening for the news at 6, I'm Keisha Grant.
And I'm Mike Heideck. Mimi was found behind an abandoned house in New Britain back in October. Investigators said that she had been there at least a year. Her mother and 2 others are charged in her death by starvation.
Chief Investigator.
So her mother's boyfriend, and I think it was her aunt, lived there. And I didn't know that the girl had been behind the house for a year. Why is there the ability to hide a body behind an abandoned house for a year? That's insane. New Britain, Connecticut, yes. A fucking year she was back there. I'm going to get mad.
Investigator Lynn Bestoff obtained a copy of the autopsy report. It shows she had 2 types of drugs in her system before her death. Lynn, you've been on this story since the very beginning. Just when you think it can't get worse, it does.
Yeah, it does, Keisha, Mike. I'm not going to lie here. Reading this stuff's a little bit hard to take, and we got both the autopsy and some other documents when we were in probate court. And we should warn you, this does contain graphic descriptions of the condition Mimi's body was in.
The medical examiner's office previously confirmed Jacqueline Mimi Torres-Garcia's cause of death was fatal child abuse with starvation.
As a mother, she saw her daughter looking like that or worse, looking like this or worse. She saw her daughter looking like that, and they continued to feed her drugs and abuse her. Not Eugenia Cooley. This is an example of somebody who's dealing with that. But that as a mother, her 11-year-old daughter looked like that or worse, and they continued to not fucking feed her and give her drugs. This is horrendous and absolutely infuriating.
Manner, homicide.
Hold on, let me go to where they zoomed out a little bit of that. Hold on. Jesus, her body weight was 27 pounds with decomposition. So the final diagnosis is fatal child abuse with starvation, A, marked emaciation, prominence of bony skeleton under the skin surface. So again, they're saying, I mean, I know I'm not trying to confuse y'all because I know I keep pulling Eugenia up, but when you think about the, hold on, too many tabs. When we read prominence of bony skeleton under the skin surface, that's what it looks like. Do you see her skeleton? It's very prominent under the skin surface. She looked like Eugenia. An 11-year-old girl looked like Eugenia, and her fucking mother, her mother's boyfriend, and her aunt just continued to starve her and drug her. This is so fucked up. She weighed 27 pounds with decomposition, near absence of subcutaneous continuous fat. So she had no body fat. No body fat. Like this. Could you imagine seeing your little fucking, your little baby, your little 11-year-old girl looking like that? And you just keep abusing her? What the fuck? Meanwhile, both the mother and aunt are fatty, so they did it to hurt Mimi. Yeah, good point. When we saw them, we saw how they got some weight on them, so it definitely wasn't because there was a lack of food in the fucking house. Chandra Vander Ark didn't miss meals either, that piece of shit. Yeah. She must have been so cold in life and in death behind that house for a fucking year, out in the cold, just like somebody's trash. This is so fucked up.
Starvation. The manner?
Minimal feces in the intestinal tract. Like she didn't even have any waste because there was barely anything there because she was so fucking starved. Postmortem liver diphenhydramine, 5,800 mg. Amphetamine. I can't quite read it because it goes dark.
Maltreatment and neglect. A toxicology report revealed the...
Okay. Postmortem liver, when they did it, there was amphetamine in her system, 510 net grams, I'm assuming, per gram, which is 0.150 milligrams per kilogram. So it's 0.510 milligrams per kilogram. Amphetamine not prescribed to her. So she had methamphetamine in her system and was starved to death. Why did it take a year to find her? You would have thought someone would smell something. Yeah, that was my question. Exactly.
Boom, 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 bam.
You would think somebody would have found her out there alone behind that house in a fucking bin for a year.
Presence of amphetamines in her blood, drugs she was never prescribed, according to the autopsy report. Amphetamines are found in some prescription medications as well as illicit drugs.
Thank you.
The medical examiner also noted the presence of an antihistamine. There was a single blueberry in her stomach. A smiling Mimi appears healthy at her 5th grade graduation in June 2024. 3 months later, her mother says she stopped feeding her, according to...
Do you see this bitch? She ain't missing no fucking meals. Admitted that 3 months after her graduation, she stopped feeding her and there was a single fucking blueberry in that baby's stomach. I mean, what happened to this? The mother looks healthy. She's got makeup on. She's holding her child close. Where did that go? I want to try to read some more of these documents.
The presence of an antihistamine. There was a single...
Okay. Gastrointestinal system. The esophagus has a smooth tan brown mucosa. The serosa of the stomach is smooth and brown. The mucosa is brown and otolized. The stomach contains a single intact blueberry, and they had a photograph of it. The serosa of the small and large intestines is intact, smooth, and brown. The intestines are dilated with air. A small amount of dark brown soft feces is in the proximal small intestine and in the region of the cecum, which is photographed, and minimum brown feces is in the rectum. The rest of the intestine contains no applicable feces. The mucosa is brown and otolized. The appendix is present. So again, she had a single fucking blueberry in her stomach, looking like Eugenia Cooley. And there wasn't even enough there to create enough waste for her to have feces in her fucking system. A little bit of Lisa, good to see you. Kat, good to see you. Had Child Protection Services been involved with this family before? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
blueberry in her stomach. A smiling Mimi appears healthy.
Right here, she appears healthy, okay? But she is skinny. She's little. But while she was in school, we at least know that she was eating at school, right? Got her balloons, flowers, because she graduated the 5th grade. 3 months later, the mother admits that she's not missing any fucking meals and admits that she's not feeding her. I mean, you can look at that bitch and tell she wasn't missing any fucking meals. Not feeding her and giving her methamphetamines or amphetamines that she got from some type of antihistamine, which you can get. There is a spray that clears your nose that mimics, it has a amphetamine in it, I think, but I don't know if that's what they use. They said an antihistamine, so I don't know if they used that or they gave her actual methamphetamine. She got 1 meal maybe 5 days a week if school wasn't closed. Right. This is so fucked up. Such a beautiful child.
At her 5th grade graduation in June 2024. 3 months later, her mother says she stopped feeding her, according to an interview she gave with police.
That bitch ain't missing no fucking meals. If them girls that she's locked up with in jail hear this, they'll start taking her food from her. I hope they do. I hope the fuck they do. I hope this airs on that TV that they've got in the pod that sits way up close to the ceiling. I hope they all fucking see it, because them girls will be like, nope, you're not going to eat today. Not after what you did to your baby. So then why didn't the system remove her, or why didn't the school system get involved? They said they were homeschooling her, so they hid her from the system. The CPS in this case, I'll have to double check it. I think it was they were involved, but they got not involved. And there was an investigation opened when she was reported missing, but nobody found her until they found her deceased after that. So while CPS would have been involved, they reported her missing and nobody knew where she was at. So that's how that went. I think they had been involved before, though. Yep, crying for herself. COVID happened, the meals and the abuse. Yep. Since she was dehydrated, why the antihistamine? Also, when she passed, decomposing initially starts with quickly dehydrating. So goodness, there wasn't anything to smell from decomp, or very little. Thank you for that. That explains why nobody would have smelled her behind the house, because there was nothing to smell, basically. There would have been less smell because she would have been dehydrated, is what you're saying. If that's true, that explains it. My God. Pseudoephedrine found in over-the-counter drugs. Thank you. Like Advil, cold and sinus. That's what I was thinking about. Pseudoephedrine. Yes, Mrs. North. Thank you for that. Also used to make meth. Yep. Hey, Karen. Good to see you. I think we as a country need to put in firmer laws for homeschooling. You know, Karen, good to see you, love, and I hope you're having a good day. As someone who homeschools, I'll still be homeschooling my little, but mine are going back to public school. They want to meet friends. But as somebody who homeschools, a part of that is trying to get out from some of the things they teach in school, some of the theories, some of the progressiveness of it, kind of. Like, for instance, we were doing Christian homeschooling, whereas if I put them in a Christian school, it would have cost us way more money than we ever had. So I think as homeschoolers, you should be providing, because, okay, part of the reason that you can homeschool is that you can go to museum. You have the day. Somebody's home. One of the parents is home doing the homeschooling. And then you can go to museums and things like that. You get discounts. There's a lot of places you can go for free, and you just have to bring your homeschool registration. There's homeschool co-ops so that children in homeschool can meet other kids and things like that. I think as a homeschool that you should have to provide receipts for, like, okay, you know, in October, we went to the museum for the day, and here is, you know, documentation of that. We're in this homeschool co-op group. And then like we had discussed before, every 3 or 4 months, getting on a video camera and just having the child say what they learned. I think that would cut a lot of this shit out. I do not think that we need to have CPS checking on every homeschool. However, with all this shit going on, I don't think that it's a bad idea to have people like, you know, get on camera, say what the child's learned and things like that, because these people keep getting away with it. And every single time we hear that they were allegedly homeschooled, you know what I mean? No, Karen, I had to come early today because I have appointments. It's been crazy because I've been getting my littles enrolled in school, and then, you know, we've got to switch everything over from North Carolina to Arkansas. And so trying to do all of the things I need to get done has made the schedule kind of erratic right now, but things will be back to normal soon. As soon as we get everything done, you know, it costs a lot of money too. So having the money and the time to get it done is what we're trying to do right now. And as soon as I get all that stuff done, it'll be a set time. I'm thinking 1 o'clock, especially with my littles going to school. I think that should give me time. At least a yearly photo with registration, maybe each semester. Yep. I think that would be great.
Boom, 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 bam.
And if you're homeschooling, I don't think that's too much to ask. They're doing good. She's doing good. We got to go in like 6 or 7 days. Yeah. To get the pin removed. And I think she gets a new cast. I don't know if they'll put another cast on it, but she goes in next week to get the pin removed. Which we got to drive all the way back to the children's hospital, which is like freaking 2 hours away. But she's doing good. She's excited to get it removed. It's not hurting her. She had to take some Tylenol yesterday. She said it had started hurting, but her and her brother were playing, and I think she twisted it. She's doing good. She's doing real good. Real homeschooling takes a lot of care and hard work. Yep. And they use it as a get out of jail free card. They use it as a way to get these kids out of school so they're not tracked and they can't see the abuse that's happening. It really pisses me off.
Investigators believe Mimi died about 2 weeks later on September 19th, 2024, based on statements from Garcia and her sister. The child's body was found inside a 40-gallon bin wrapped inside a black garbage bag, according to the autopsy results.
They put her in a fucking garbage bag like trash. So fucked up. Karen, if you're not getting notifications, sweetheart, some people say that you can go to my channel and unsubscribe and then resubscribe. Like click unsubscribe and then immediately click subscribe, and it should make it where you get notifications again. I apologize about the time being all over the place. I am scared for them to go to public school, but we had always told them that when they got to high school that they could go if they wanted to because of the prom. Like, you know, we want them to experience prom and all of the things like that. I worry because of, like, you know, the things that could happen at school, but I don't want to take their high school years from them. You know, that's when you find friends, you find yourself a lot, you know, the prom, all of the homeschooling, homecoming. I don't want them to miss that. So, you know, we had always said that when it comes time for high school, you can do that. And we wanted to get moved, you know, because we were in the camper for so long. We wanted to get out here where, you know, everything was, we had a better living situation, environment and stuff, you know, so we said that they could do that. And then the one that's in high school started going to school, and the younger ones, of course, are like, well, I want to go, I want to meet people. So, you know, we asked them all, you know, do you want to go? So I signed up the ones that said they wanted to go. And then the youngest one is still a little bit scared. The one that has the broken arm right now, she's still a little bit scared. So I'm going to keep her homeschooled until September of next year. And then she's going to try to go at the beginning of the year. Select all when you click on the bell, said a little bit of Lisa. Thank you. Yeah, some of it is, but we're going to work on that. You know, if they have questions or anything like that, we can discuss it. They do. People do move around a lot to stay hidden. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sidetrack. I wanted to back that up.
Statements from Garcia and her sister. The child's body was found inside a 40-gallon bin wrapped inside a black garbage bag, according to the autopsy result. She was 4 feet 8 inches tall and weighed just 27 pounds.
4 foot 8 inches tall and weighed 27 pounds. hold on a minute. Sorry. The ideal weight for a 121-year-old. Most everyone has, okay. Let's see. So it's a girl. She is 11 years old. We'll just say 11 years and 2 months old. Okay. She was 4 foot 8 inches. And we want to calculate it in pounds. Okay, well, no. I'm trying to figure out what they're supposed to weigh. That didn't work. Let's go back over here. What is a 12-year-old that is 4 foot 8 inches? Let's try that, see if it gives me. Okay, so she weighed 27 pounds and she was supposed to weigh 135 pounds. She should have had about 110 more pounds of body weight on her than she did. That's how fucking starved she was. This is fucking insane. That's weird. I could see how it would happen, but no, I haven't. No, you're not. Timothy Ferguson weighed 69 pounds on a 68-inch frame. Jesus. Jesus. I just can't. 27 fucking pounds. And she's supposed to weigh 135. Look at, I mean, she's absolutely, she's beautiful there. She's happy. She wasn't big to begin with. Like, it does seem to be a lot. I would say between 110 and 135 probably be normal. My 15-month-old itty bitty weighs about 25 pounds now. Yeah. I've got littles that have high metabolism and they are very, very skinny, but nothing that absolutely not. That's just fucking insane. That's so insane. I just cannot. I mean, she's got a cross necklace. Like, it appears that at one time she was very well cared for. What happened? Mama got hooked up with the wrong guy, so the child became the target of the aggression? How the fuck does that work? I mean, I can't comprehend it as a mother who has been, with people that are not my children's biological father. No, the minute you fucking I'd rather you hurt me than hurt my child. I don't understand how you as a mother just stood there and participated in some shit like that. That's so fucked up.
The medical examiner noted no signs of recent fractures or major trauma, but she had severe muscle atrophy and almost no body fat, which are consistent with prolonged starvation.
Severe muscle atrophy and almost no body fat. See, in this picture right here, she's healthy. Like, how did we go from healthy to starving the child and keeping her on amphetamines? You think they were jealous of her? That maybe. That's a possibility. I know, this is so infuriating.
A separate document reveals the medical examiner's office used x-rays and other images to positively identify Mimi.
They had to use fucking x-rays to positively identify her. Yeah, the aunt too. The aunt, the mother, and the boyfriend.
Garcia and her ex-boyfriend face murder charges. She pleaded not guilty. Garcia's sister is charged with intentional cruelty, unlawful restraint in the first degree, and risk of injury to a child.
That shit. All right. So, another article on it real quick. Autopsy confirms Mimi Torres-Garcia's cause of death was starvation. Police found Torres-Garcia body in a plastic container behind an abandoned house in October. And here is where the community came out and placed balloons in remembrance of her. I really love when the community comes together like that and just tries to show, love It makes me feel like these children are looking down from heaven and they get to see that somebody loved them, that the community comes out. And with RJ that we just talked about in Oklahoma, you know, that community came together and he's going to have a safe place to go now. And it makes me happy to see that. Yes, Anders, good to see you, my love. Anders, yes, the mother and the boyfriend starved her and gave her amphetamines. Locked in a room by a stepmom was also found out there in Connecticut. Oh, yeah, I remember that. My Gabby was only 90 pounds at that age and slightly underweight. She had to drink Pediasure. Mine probably needs some Pediasure because I know mine are underweight, but like they eat, my gosh, like I spend like $1,000 a month on groceries. They just have such a high metabolism. Like they always have stuff in there that they can make. Like I just got the taquitos and corn dogs, and there's French fries and stuff they can put in the air fryer. They have ramen noodles, stuff to make sandwiches. They cook eggs. I mean, all the things, but they're just really underweight because or little because their metabolism's so high. I pray that they can see how much these people care when they're gone. Me too. Me too. I really do. Under the picture, it reads, a steady flow of visitors come to place their offerings at the memorial stretched along the front of the abandoned home where the remains of 12-year-old Jacqueline Mimi Torres-Garcia were found in New Britain, Connecticut on October 14th of 2025. I apologize for having her age wrong when I just put it in the calculator, but I mean, it's still that she was missing about 100 pounds of weight. An autopsy report released this week in the case of Jacqueline Mimi Torres-Garcia, the 11-year-old. Oh, see, here it says 11-year-old. Found deceased in a plastic bin late last year in New Britain, confirmed that her death was caused by child abuse and starvation. The child had a single blueberry in her stomach at the time of her death, according to the state's autopsy. The report also stated that she weighed only 27 pounds, had, quote, marked emaciation, and a, quote, near absence, unquote, of fat on her body. She also had amphetamines, a stimulant that wasn't prescribed to her, in her system. Police found Torres-Garcia's body in a plastic container behind an abandoned house in October. Her mother, her mother's boyfriend, and her aunt have all been charged in relation to her death, which officials have said occurred in 2024. Carla Garcia, Torres-Garcia's mother, has been charged with 7 felonies, including a homicide charge, child abuse, unlawfully restraining her daughter, and illegally disposing of a body. Garcia's boyfriend, Jonathan Gerlach, has been charged with the same felonies and larceny for allegedly defrauding the SNAP program. They were getting food stamps. He's getting charged for defrauding them. They were getting that. What that more than likely stems from is they were getting food stamps for Mimi, for the child that they were starving. They were more than likely getting food stamps for her. And they continued to use them even after she was dead. They got money from the government to feed the child and they fucking starved her. Like that really fucking pisses me the fuck off. I hate Lolo, good to see you, love. Anders said, I heard another case where the parents starved a girl because they wanted her to be a ballerina. Ooh, that's interesting. I'd have to look into that. Ballerinas so I've heard that there can be a lot of eating disorders if you are a dancer specifically because they want you to be a certain weight. I think that's horrible. And I think that's why they came out with showcasing girls that were bigger that were ballerinas too. I think that was an important thing to do that had happened maybe a year or two ago. Yeah, they were getting food stamps for her and fucking starving her. It continues. The child's aunt, Jacqueline Garcia, has been charged with 3 felonies related to child abuse and unlawful restraint. All 3 have hearings scheduled later this month. The autopsy says witnesses confirmed that Torres-Garcia was restrained with zip ties.
What the hell? What the hell, Yante? What the hell? What the hell, Barry? What the hell?
What the hell? Just like RJ. What is it with the fucking restraining with zip ties? Mrs. North said, I was always skinny too. I weighed between 105 and 110 most of my life, except while pregnant. So many people have high metabolism and don't gain weight. I've never dieted and never really cared about it. Yeah. A lot of people do have high metabolism. Can lose weight like that and stay pretty skinny. Just as long as you're eating. I wish I had the metabolism of my children, which I'm not big or anything. I was on medicine that made me big once a couple years ago, but I got off of that medicine and I'm not big anymore. Yeah. I don't fucking know, man. The case has also reinforced calls for more regulation of the state's homeschooling system. In July of 2024, the girl's mother emailed school officials to alert them she planned to homeschool her daughter. Less than 2 months later, the child was deceased, according to court records. So in July of that tells me that she graduated from 5th grade, and then they had her for the summer. And then at the end of summer, when they knew that she was going to be getting ready to go back to school, they said something happened where they were like, we can't let her go back to school looking like this or saying what's happening to her in this house. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure they're not looking for her by homeschooling her. So I'm thinking that the shit started the summer of 2024, because by the end of summer, she's like, we can't send her to public school. I got to homeschool her. Hey, Cindy from sunny South Florida. Good to see you, love. So fucked up. Less than 2 months later, she was deceased. Documents from the 2 school districts Garcia, the girl's mother, emailed regarding her plans to educate her daughter show that the homeschooling plan likely hid abuse from people who would have been required to report it to the state. It's the second high-profile case in recent months related to homeschooling in Connecticut. In February, officials found that a Waterbury man had been allegedly locked away for decades after being pulled out of school in the 5th grade. Democrats convened a hearing to discuss the issue last session, which led to thousands of protesters gathering at the Capitol arguing against regulation of homeschooling. Speaker of the House, Matt Ritter, said Wednesday night that there will likely be legislation about Torres-Garcia's case, which may include homeschooling in the Department of Children and Families. DCF had a history with the family, he said. There's more need to look at situations in which a family has a DCF history and gets withdrawn from school. How many times have we been saying that? Like, we were even talking in chat saying that you should not be able to pull your child out of school if you have had like 2 or 3 interactions with CPS in the past couple of months. They are seeing the correlation just like we did. Again, there's more need to look at situations in which a family has had CPS history and then the child gets withdrawn from school. Thank God they're finally seeing it. Quote, if you've had a lot of interaction with DCF or CPS and law enforcement and you just suddenly withdraw your kid, we might need to have better follow-up on that. Unquote, Ritter said, noting the conversation is highly politicized. Quote, that might get really ugly. Republicans versus Democrat. House minority says she would support more oversight of families who withdraw their children from school and have active cases with DCF, but doesn't want to see the legislation stretch into broad homeschooling regulation. Quote, the broader conversation about homeschooling and to what degree they should be registered is a much more complicated conversation because it immediately moves into the realm of curriculum review, approval, and testing. That defeats the whole point of homeschooling. To me, that's a separate issue, and I don't want to see us use a tragedy as an opportunity to regulate homeschooling. No, but I think that, again, we need to look at the correlation between DCF and a substantial history and then that child getting withdrawn from school. That is really important. So this is going to tell us about the DCF. The DCF interactions with the family. This was from October, and it reads: the Department of Children and Families says that the mother of a New Britain girl whose decomposing remains were found earlier in October had another child impersonate the girl during a wellness check with the Child Welfare Agency earlier this year, months after the preteen is believed to have died. So she had her other child impersonate Mimi so that DCF could say that they had talked to the girl and that she was okay. What the fuck? The remains of Jacqueline Mimi Torres-Garcia were found on October 8th in New Britain in a plastic container. Lawmakers and advocates have demanded answers from DCF about the nature of the department's involvement in the life of Torres-Garcia and her family, and questioned how such a tragedy could have occurred. The case has also spurred renewed attention at the lack of monitoring homeschooled children in the state, as details emerged that the girl's parents appeared to have used homeschooling as a cover for Torres-Garcia's absence from school after her death. I apologize. On Friday, DCF provided some details of its role in Torres-Garcia's life. According to the department, it first became involved with the girl's family when she was born. At the time, Torres-Garcia's mother, Carla Garcia, was in a detention center. So the baby was placed with a relative where she remained until May of 2022, when the girl was 9 years old. That year, her parents sought guardianship of both Torres-Garcia and her younger sibling, which was granted by the court, a decision supported by DCF at the time. Carla Garcia goes to prison for, I'm assuming, about 10 years, and then comes out and is given custody of that child and her younger sibling. And how the hell does she have a younger sibling if you are in prison for 9 years? This is confusing me. Hey, Max, good to see you. I think if a family pulls a child out after DCF interactions, DCF needs to do random visits. I say this as a mom who homeschooled 8 kids. See, I don't think I think that they do need to visit and keep a close eye on the family, especially for an extensive period of time afterwards. But I think that you should be showing proof that you're in some kind of homeschool co-op so that they have the social interaction that they need. I think you need to provide proof that you're going to take them to the museums and the things like that you get to do as a homeschool. And I think that they need to be putting them on camera and, saying, what have you learned? Can you show me some of the work you've done? And doing that about once every 6 months needs to start happening. Thank you. Okay. Mrs. North said DCF needs a tremendous overhaul and social workers need to be held accountable personally. What happened? I'm so sorry, Max. I hope they weren't selling. Oh, I hope they weren't SAing her and that she was going to talk, and that's why they decided to take her life at such a young age. I'm wondering if that's what was going on. So Jenny Jen said that Mark has provided an update, and they said that Rebecca Haro's hearing was rescheduled. We will jump to that and see what he has posted after this. Lord of mercy. All right, continuing. Quote, the department's recommendation was made after conducting a review of the family's history and current circumstances, an interview with Jacqueline and her sibling, and an assessment of the parents' current ability to take care of them at that time, according to a DCF statement provided by DCF. The department interacted with Torres-Garcia during a subsequent investigation in September of 2022 involving her younger siblings, but there was not enough evidence to substantiate child abuse or neglect, and they closed the case in November. The following 2 years, DCF says it had no involvement with the family, although it notes that Carla Garcia filed and was granted sole custody of Torres-Garcia and a sibling in June of 2024. But in January, allegations were made against Garcia regarding the treatment of Torres-Garcia's younger sibling. As DCF checked on the sibling and then attempted to check on Torres-Garcia, her mother told DCF employees that she was being homeschooled and had gone to visit a relative out of state. In response, quote, DCF conducted a video call with a person who the mother claimed to be Jacqueline, unquote. But police have said that they believe Jacqueline had died months earlier. DCF, apparently satisfied with that call, closed the case in March of 2025. Who the fuck? Okay, so she got on a video call, which that sounds like what DCF should do. Like, right? Like, okay, the child's not here. I'm going to need you to produce her, like a video call or something. That sounds legitimate and like what you should do in a case like that. Who the fuck is making a child pretend to be somebody they're not so this bitch can lie to DCF? Where is that child? Who is that child? And who helped her tell that child to lie about who she was? The death of Torres-Garcia came to light at a moment when two of the state's top child welfare positions are vacant. The commissioner of DCF in the Office of the Child Advocate, a critical role for child welfare that has been vacant since Sarah Egan resigned from the position in July of 2024. The Child Advocate is Connecticut's critical mechanism for investigating state agencies such as DCF that can handle the care of the state's most vulnerable children. Quote, this horrific situation should not have happened, and we are angry to hear that our state system did not protect Jacqueline, said Children's Committee co-chair Senator Cece Mayer and Democrat Wilton and Representative Corey Paris, who is a Democrat from Stanford, in a Thursday statement. Quote, as we learn more, it's becoming apparent that the Department of Children and Families failed her. DCF has one of the most important roles in our state, and when it accepts less than 110%, our most vulnerable children are left in harm's way, with children like Jacqueline suffering the consequences. It is clear that DCF did not meet the moment here, and we need answers as to how and why this happened, as well as assurances that we can make certain it never happens again, unquote. I think DCF did what they could, though. I mean, you know, what do you do? Keep it open until you see that child in person, I guess, is how it could have been handled better. But they did make her video call. I mean, that's more than I've heard in other cases. Like, they still made her video call and say, you know, put this child, I need to speak to this child, and you're going to have to make that happen so I can close this case. That seems legit to me. That seems like they did their job. And why isn't that child speaking out or telling someone? Great question, Mrs. North. These people are evil. They know how to take advantage of the system. Hell yeah, they do. And he's paying for defrauding the food stamps. If I remember correctly, Mimi was mad her mom was pregnant again. I heard that somewhere. That's interesting. I wonder if that's why she was punished to that extent, Allie X. All right, police found the decomposed remains of Torres-Garcia inside a plastic storage bin in New Britain on October 8th after receiving a phone tip about suspicious activity at an abandoned building. Police say they believe she may have been deceased for as long as a year before her remains were discovered. Depending on when she was homicided, she would have been either 11 or 12. Police say the child's mother and the mother's boyfriend had hidden her body in their basement before a family moved. Both adults, along with the girl's aunt, have been charged with felonies in relation to the homicide. Those arrested have criminal histories, some of which dealt with the treatment of children, according to court records. Carla Garcia, her fucking mother, was convicted of third-degree assault in 2018. The child's aunt, Jacqueline Garcia, was convicted of risk of injury to a child in 2022. In 2020, Jonathan Natia, the mother's boyfriend, was convicted on a reckless endangerment charge, according to court records. Police say there is evidence Jacqueline suffered extensively before her death from malnutrition and physical abuse. New Britain mayor said during a Monday press conference that no one reported the girl missing and that the family had a prior history with DCF. The agency confirmed the girl's siblings have since been taken into their custody. The DCF commissioner said the department is conducting a review of their history with the family. Quote, we have already begun a thorough review of our history with the family. Consistent with our practice, this multidisciplinary review will include our knowledge about the family, supports provided casework, decisions, adherence to policy, as well as communication and collaboration with our system and community partners, unquote. Quote, unfortunately, I think a very, very good system, which we do not have, would prevent every tragedy, but removing more children won't prevent them either. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I think a very, very good system, which we do not have, wouldn't prevent every tragedy, but removing more children won't prevent them either. We need well-supported offices, mental health care, and oversight body. And I don't think we have any of those right now. All right. We don't have to necessarily read. There was one other place. Oh, yeah. Email. This is about the email regarding her taking her out of regular school. I wanted to see if it had it up there. Okay, right here. Jacqueline Mimi Torres-Garcia's mother reached out to Farmington school officials in late July of 2024 with a short email alerting them of her intention to homeschool the 11-year-old. Quote, hello, I'm contacting you today because I would like to homeschool my child for the upcoming school year. Thank you. Have a great day. It's that simple. Like, you don't have to register or anything. Like, because that's not, I had to go and pull them out of school, like take them, let the principal know in person. I had to provide proof that I had opened a homeschool. Like, this bitch literally wrote, hello, I'm contacting you today because I would like to homeschool my child for the upcoming school year. Thank you. Have a great day. And that was it. What? Yeah, I think we need some motherfucking oversight. If that's all the fuck she did, like what? What? The fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn! Like, what the helly? Yeah, we need some fucking oversight. If that's all the fuck she had to do. What the fuck? That is insane. Oh, yep. Hey, I'm homeschooling my kid. Have a great day. Didn't even say her fucking name or nothing. What the motherfuck? Edith, good to see you, love. Good to see you. Like a dentist appointment note, right? Like, what the fuck? That's concerning. All right. So, we're going to move on now to the second part of today's live stream. Fibromyalgia. Oh, my dad had that. I'm so sorry you're dealing with that. Wrong pen. Okay. All right. So we have talked about Amish countries. Ed Gein, Jonathan Gerlach, who had taken bodies from graveyards and was selling them on Facebook. It's fucking weird, man. We got documents on that from Gavin Fish. And so, you like the new position, do you really? Okay. Yeah, I got to figure out how to, where I need to put it. So, we've got new documents on that I got from Gavin Fish. So I want to kind of read this about the case, and then we'll start looking at the documents. So this reads, investigators searched alleged grave robbers' Apatra, Pennsylvania home, removing human remains. Investigators say the case against Jonathan Gerlach, with allegations he stole more than 100 human remains, is something they've never seen. They allege the 34-year-old Lancaster County man broke into an unknown number of graves at Mount Moriah Cemetery, which spans southwest Philadelphia and the borough of Yeadon in Delaware County, and stole sets of remains. Investigators spent all day Friday at Gerlach's home in Apatra. Police confirmed the Lancaster County coroner is removing the remains and will hold them until they are positively identified. Police also confirmed in court papers that additional bones and 8 corpses were discovered in a storage locker. Meanwhile, at Mount Moriah, the graves Gerlach allegedly preyed on are old, ornate mausoleums and large crypt-like vaults, many from the 1800s. They allege he used a crowbar and ropes to rappel and ladders to climb down and access the caskets. Police said he then broke into the caskets and stole remains. In November, police got a tip from the Friends of Mount Moriah. Investigators say they were able to lift DNA off an energy drink can that was left behind in a grave. This motherfucker is down there robbing graves, drinking fucking Monster energy drinks. I'm left one there. Like, I know he's not a woman, but this right here is what we need.
This woman here is a dumbass.
This man here is a dumbass. Police then set up a sting and arrested Gerlach after they said he broke into even more graves. He was found to be in possession of human remains when taken into custody, according to investigators. The chief of Yeadon police say they wanted to catch him red-handed. Police say that he admitted taking 30 sets of remains from Mount Moriah and storing them inside his Apatra home. Quote, everyone there could not believe what they observed in that house, unquote. Yeadon Police Chief Henry Gamarcio said, quote, human remains in an area where they were all over the place. It was very troubling. It was horrendous. Rest in peace means rest in peace. Unfortunately, these people aren't resting in peace anymore, and we're trying to piece and put this back together the best we can. Some of the graves were still visibly disturbed, and some even still open. The Baker Mausoleum had fresh concrete sealing an entryway. At this resting place, Gerlach is alleged to have taken 16 sets of remains. Investigators will now begin identifying the remains in hopes of returning them to their resting place. Yeadon people are asking people with loved ones buried at Mount Moriah in the above-ground type vaults and mausoleums to reach out to them at this email address, and it's HGIAMMARCO at yeadonpd.org, YEADONPD.org, if you need that. I want to show y'all something because I need to run to the ladies' room, and there's a video that is allegedly, let me see if I can pull it up on YouTube. That is allegedly like leaked body cam. I don't know if it's real or not, but I wanted to share it with you. Had it saved, but all right, let's go over here. So I'm going to play this video for you guys. It shows it in the background.
It's fucking gross. Look at the one hanging. Ugh.
This is Jonathan Christian Gerlach, a 34-year-old man from Pennsylvania. On the surface, he might seem like just another person living in small-town America.
All right, I'm going to start it over, and I'm going to run to the ladies' room. But that in the beginning shows the footage that they allege is leaked body cam footage. You see, like, that's all shit hanging all over the place, like in the storage unit, and like bodies and stuff and bones. I'll start it over again. I'm going to try to find that one they had on YouTube.
This is Jonathan Christian Gerlach.
All right.
It's fucking gross. Look at the one hanging. Ugh.
This is Jonathan Christian Gerlach, a 34-year-old man from Pennsylvania. On the surface, he might seem like just another person living in small-town America. But Jonathan was different.
Over 100 human skeletons were recovered. And that's in part, at this point, we are still trying to figure out how many of those are complete and what exactly we are looking at.
Jonathan was running an Instagram account called Dead Daddy, where he referred to himself as a ledger of the dead to his 17,000 followers. On that account, he shared more than 100 high-quality images of human remains. Remains, it turns out, he himself had stolen from local graves. What the public didn't know is that police would later discover more than 100 human skulls, along with long bones, mummified feet, decomposing torsos, and even the remains of infants hidden in his basement and a storage locker. Some of the bones were centuries old, whilst others were recently deceased, including at least one body that had been fitted with a pacemaker.
Crazy, right?
Mount Moriah Cemetery, a once grand resting place where American flag creator Betsy Ross is buried, had long fallen into neglect. Between November 2025 and January 2026, Jonathan used this abandoned, forgotten cemetery as his hunting grounds, breaking into at least 26 vaults and mausoleums. Police finally caught him leaving the cemetery carrying a burlap bag filled with mummified remains and skulls. A search of his home revealed what the district attorney described as a horror movie come to life. Jonathan has now been charged with over 300 counts, including theft, burglary, abuse of a corpse, and desecration of venerated objects. This is Jonathan Gerlach, the man with 100 corpses.
It's fucking gross. Look at the one hanging. Ugh.
This is Jonathan Christian Gerlach.
Again, I don't know if that's actual, if it's actual footage or not, but that is what I saw on YouTube. I can't find that video anymore, but it shows all of these skulls right here on shelves, just random skulls. But there's an ape skull there, so it might be real, it might not be. There's a curio cabinet with more skulls. And then there was like bodies hanging. This appears to be a different area, a storage unit, and you can see the bodies there in the storage unit. And it goes back to this. These are two different areas. Now, this could be completely fake. I don't know, but I wanted to share it with you in case it's not. All right. So now that you guys remember, you think it's fake, it might be. Did you know you can donate pacemakers to be reused for vets, by vets for dogs who need them? I did not know that. Thank you for sharing that, Abelis. That's good information to know. Right, Lolo? If it's on YouTube, it's got to be real. We know that it's real because it was on YouTube. That one was on X, as a matter of fact. All right, let's get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope. Not the right ones. I might have. Oh, that one was right. Okay. Hold on a minute. Let me get them pulled up. I have mine watermarked. If you want these without the watermark, you can get them on Gavin Fish's Patreon. You can also get them on mine if you're a member of that. You think it was real? Yeah, I don't know. Seems to be true. I don't know how he can live among those items, dude. I really don't. Makes no sense. Okay, I'm going to try to get by the dates. 12/7, 12/7, 12/20. 12/7. I think these three are. Okay, let me pull this up. I want to start with December. I think these are December 7th. Is this the right one? Nope. But I can pull it up this way now. This is an 18-page document, y'all. We're going to get through what we can. All right, so my friend Lori donated her husband's pacemaker when he passed. They had decided that together. That is so sweet. I mean, that really is. For a dog to be able to live a little bit longer, yep. I've seen a lot about it too. We covered it when it was breaking, but I didn't put it on my thumbnail. We had covered it. I called him the modern day Ed Gein. And then what do you know? It catches on and everybody's talking about it. It's been a little while ago that we covered it. Yeah, I don't think they realized it was as big as it was either. All right, so this is the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania application for search warrant. We got the police incident number, Detective Christopher Carr. Okay, so affiant name, identify items to be searched for and seized, and the items are human remains, bones, skulls, skeletal remains, and name plates or caskets. KO storage locker located at 851 East Main Street in Euphoria, Pennsylvania, is a multi-unit storage facility. Storage unit AA23 has a blue roll-up door and is secured by 2 padlocks. AA23 is printed on blue and white background over top of the door. The owner of that storage locker who's renting it out was Jonathan Gerlach. The warrant application was approved by the district attorney, and the probable cause affidavit was attached and is below. It reads, the below named affiant being duly sworn before the issuing authority according to law disposes and says that there is probable cause to believe that the items or property identified are evidence of a full crime or are contained or are expected to be otherwise otherwise unlawfully possessed or subject to seizure, and that the items or property are expected to be located at the particular person, on the particular person, or at the particular place described above, and they certified it. Okay, they signed it. This warrant shall be served as soon as possible. This warrant shall be returned to a judicial officer. All right. So we learn about the affiant. He's been in law enforcement for 17 years. He got training. He graduated from Newman University with a bachelor in public safety administration. This man is well certified to do this stuff. And the co-affiant, Detective Leah M. Szczesniak, is employed by the police department since August of 2023. Detective Carr is the original detective, and that's got 17 years in law enforcement and a bachelor's in public safety administration. Okay, that tells us about them. They've got to put that information in there. I'm not going to read through all of it. We just know that they're very well trained to complete this task. Now, here's the probable cause affidavit for this particular search warrant. It's insane. Yeah, could you imagine the phone call? Like, there's a guy that's selling skeletons online and has a storage unit and, you know, is going in and out of this graveyard, and I think they're still in bodies. Like, I don't know. That seems like some juvenile shit, right? Like something kids would do in high school. So maybe they thought it was like some kind of, you know, kid prank. Because, I mean, we used to go to the graveyard and have seances and stuff, but I would have never messed with somebody's headstone or grave or something. But then you get out there and you find out that it's not some teenager. It's a grown-ass fucking man. You see his fucking Facebook and, like, all of that shit. I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine. What's going on, Lori? Okay. All right, probable cause. On November 7th of 2025, at approximately 11:29, the Yeadon Borough Police Department was dispatched to the Yeadon Borough section of Mount Moriah Cemetery for a report of burglary discovered. Officers arrived on location and were met by the complainant, a member of, quote, Friends of Mount Moriah, unquote. Officers were directed to section 1.125, which is the GPS coordinates listed there, within the cemetery, which contains mausoleums. Due to previous vandalism over the years, all access to the mausoleums have previously been sealed with concrete blocks and cement. Officers were led to the Hunter family mausoleum, which had a large hole in the center blocks that now permitted access into the mausoleum. Upon inspection of the mausoleum, it was discovered that the marble flooring was destroyed, revealing the crypts situated below ground level. It should be noted that the drop from the damaged flooring to the lower level of the underground crypt is approximately 10 feet. Detective Szczesniak responded to Mount Moriah Cemetery to process the scene. Located within the mausoleum was white nylon rope with a brown and black carabiner attached. The rope was tied to a large tree branch, which was lying on the ground level flooring, inside of the mausoleum. The rope was left hanging down into the now open floor of the mausoleum and positioned as if the actors utilized it to rappel into the now open floor, allowing access to the crypts below ground level. So he busted up, like somehow he got some kind of equipment to bust this fucking marble flooring. He tied a rope to a tree and rappelled down, busted the floor, the marble fucking floor, and then went down under that to get the skeletons. A 15-year-old who passed in 1869 was one of the stolen bodies. Wow. That's fucked up. Okay. While canvassing the area by the crypts, a craftsman's flathead screwdriver was located on the ground within debris from the broken marble. The name, quote, Brian, unquote, was etched multiple times on the handle of the screwdriver. Brian. Officers discovered a crypt that had been disturbed, which was on the bottom left of the underground area, and identified it as holding Martha Hunter, who was born in 1854 and passed away in 1869. The marble stone that was securing the crypt had been completely removed from the crypt itself, sitting upright on the nearby wall. Inspection of the crypt revealed no remains or clothing were left behind, indicating that someone had removed the contents of the crypt. One set of human remains believed to be missing. The rope, carabiner, and screwdriver were collected as evidence. Detective Szczesniak utilized a hydrated cotton swab to recover DNA evidence from the screwdriver as well as the carabiner. The swabs were then submitted to the Pennsylvania State Police Laboratory for testing purposes. On November 29th of 2025 at 14:08, which would have been 2:08 p.m., the Edinburgh Police Department was dispatched to the Edinburgh section of Mount Moriah Cemetery for the report of burglary of a mausoleum. Officers arrived on location and were met by a member of Friends of Mount Moriah, who led officers to section 125 with the GPS coordinates within the cemetery. A previously center blocked window was observed to have been broken out, allowing access into the Jonathan Pritchard family mausoleum. Detective Szczesniak responded to process the scene. Once inside the mausoleum, it was discovered that 5 of the 9 crypts were damaged. The crypts were all above ground inside of the mausoleum. The bottom right of the crypt was completely open, revealing the coffin inside. The casket itself sustained heavy damage, and upon inspection, it was discovered that no human remains or clothing were inside. After speaking with the complainant, it was learned that the targeted casket contained the remains of Mary Pritchard Stingelman, who was born in 1878 and passed away in 1940. One set of human remains is believed to be missing. Located inside of the Pritchard mausoleum amongst the debris caused by the damaged cinder block and marble was a 24-ounce, quote, monster, unquote, energy drink can. Now, how did I know it was going to be a fucking monster that this dumbass left behind with his DNA all over it? Cindy, good to see you, love. Yeah, you leave if you need to, sweetheart. I hope you're having a good day, love. Monster energy drink. Wow. The can still had some liquid inside, and the stamp on the bottom of the can read the lot number. The can was collected as evidence and later processed for latent prints and DNA evidence. As a result of the processing, the Monster Energy drink can, 2 partial prints were recovered. Detective Szczesniak utilized a hydrated cotton swab to process the mouth of the can for DNA evidence. The lift cards and swab will be forwarded to the Pennsylvania State Police Crime Lab for testing purposes. Detective Szczesniak later conducted a search of the stamp on the recovered monster can, which revealed that the numbers were production or batch code indicated the Monster Energy drink was manufactured on August 23rd of 2025 at 16:31 hours. On November 29th of 2025, officers were alerted by the complainant to another damaged mausoleum, which was positioned just behind the Pritchard mausoleum. The Frank Charlton family mausoleum had sustained fresh damage to the rear cemented window. The bottom left corner of the window had the cement chipped away, leaving some debris on the ground directly below the window. It does not appear any entry was made into this mausoleum. So at this point, this motherfucker has been out there and breaking into mausoleums and shit like that, and they're on to him, and he's still going out there. I bet that one didn't have very much damage to it because he ran quickly. Now I'm wondering if he's so addicted to doing this that he's going to continue to come back, and that's how he gets busted. It's probably going to be because of the DNA can. I wonder if he kept coming back, because that tells me that somebody saw him or ran up on him and he took off running or something to that effect. He got nervous, and I want to know if he tried to continue to do this even after he got nervous. That little hint that, you know, hey, you better stop. Percy, good to see you, love. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. He had made me those. She's such a sweetheart. Okay. So, Plains Township Police Detective Lepore, who did provide her with their report from the incident, through Plains Township investigation, is believed that burglary or theft occurred on November 1st of 2025 at 1400 hours. Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped a section. I was like, wait a minute. On or about December 2nd of 2025, Detective Cesniak conducted an online search for any similar burglaries of mausoleums in surrounding areas. It was discovered that a burglary or theft was reported at Westminster Road, Plains Township, Luzerne County, Pennsylvania on November 6th of 2025. So he contacted them, and they believe that a burglary or theft occurred November 1st at 1400 hours. After reviewing the Plains Township Police report, it was discovered that the targeted Crips once held Mary Chaplin Paga, who was born January 1898 and passed away July 1981. The Leo Terrence, who was born in 1928 and passed away in March of 1981. Plains Township Police processed the scene and located clear plastic tarp containing human remains just outside of the damaged mausoleum. The remains were transported to the coroner's office. Additionally, they collected the following from the crime scene: 2 cigarette butts, 1 liquid death energy drink can, 1 NOS energy drink can. The 2 items were submitted to the Pennsylvania State Police Crime Laboratory for testing purposes. So he's just leaving trash, cigarette butts all over these places as he's stealing these bodies. Like, talk about dumb fucking criminals. Mrs. North said he had this weird sort of alternative persona to go along with his grave robbing. It's quite gross. Like, who's into grave robbers? I would have had lots of questions about his behavior toward the dead. Me too. And I haven't heard about this this alternate personality. That's interesting. Okay, so on December 20th at 12:30, they were dispatched to the Edenboro section of the Mount Moriah Cemetery for the report of burglaries discovered. Upon arrival, patrol officers, it was discovered that the actors targeted 4 separate underground vaults, which are secured using a heavy stone marble slab. Upon moving the slab, in an underground vault area that is approximately 10 to 12 foot tall houses the caskets and was observed. In order to enter or exit these vaults safely, a ladder or similar climbing tool would be needed. Detective Cesniak responded and met with Friends of Mount Moriah complainant, who stated that the burglaries occurred sometime between December 13th and December 20th. The complainant stated that they personally viewed the area on December 13th, and there was no visual damage to the vaults. The following underground vaults were targeted in this incident: the Slack family, the Ogden family, the McCullough family, and the Lauber family, or Lauber. After viewing each plot, it appeared as though they utilized unknown tools to move the stone marble slabs out of the original position, revealing the underground vaults. Tool marks were evident on the slabs, while photographing the Slack family vault. Visible from ground level within the vault was a broken wood pallet positioned up against two of the walls within the vault underground. The pallet was positioned as if someone utilized it, similar to a ladder, to enter and exit the underground wall. On December 29th, detectives gained access to the vault and determined that 2 sets of human remains were missing. While processing the Ogden family vault, it was discovered that 2 caskets had been targeted. The lids were completely removed, left within wooden debris visible in the vault. There were bones visible, specifically 2 what appear to be femur bones, positioned within one of the caskets. Also visible was another broken wood pallet positioned up against 2 of the walls within the vault underground. The pallet was positioned as if someone utilized it, similar to a ladder, to enter and exit the underground vault. This underground vault was significantly wet inside. It should be noted that our demographic area had a heavy rainstorm Thursday, December 18th, into the morning hours of Friday, December 19th. 2025. On December 29th, detectives gained access to the vault and determined the upper torso, pelvis, and head from 2 remains was missing. They canvassed the immediate surrounding areas of the targeted plots. Located within the Ogden family plot was a partially smoked Marlboro menthol cigarette located on the ground. A pair of black glasses were located on the ground just on the other side of the stone border, which frames the Ogden plot. A second partially smoked Marlboro menthol cigarette was located on the ground north of the Ogden plot, next to the cemetery storage unit and dumpsters. The McCullough family vault was significantly deeper than the first 2, and there was a significant amount of debris covering the ground within. A ladder was used to climb down into the vault, and a department-issued Motorola body camera was utilized to record inside the vault. Upon review of the footage, it was revealed that 2 caskets were targeted with no remains discovered within. One casket was completely turned over on its side. On December 29th of 2025, detectives gained access to the vault and determined that 7 sets of remains were missing. 1 NOS energy drink can located 1 plot over from the McCullough plot. The Lauder... Okay, it just stops there. The Lauder family vault has similar damage to the slab stone on the top of the vault, as did the previously mentioned family vaults. Wooden debris were visible inside the vault, and a pair of black shoes, presumably belonging to the decedent, were observed on the ground within the vault. On December 29th of 2025, detectives gained access to the vault and determined that 5 sets of human remains were missing. 1 black 15-inch hyper-tough pry bar was located on the ground within the Lauder family plot. So he's just going and stealing all of these bodies and things like that and to sell or whatever, and leaving his trash, his fucking shoes. He left the pallets that he was using as ladders, just leaving shit everywhere. Content Angel, good to see you. Alex said, I feel bad for whoever has to document all this. It's gross. Yeah. Facebook. Mrs. North said full skeletons can be sold for a lot of money fully intact. He made a lot of money. All those people who paid them are not getting a refund. Sorry, not sorry. I thought about that too. And you're absolutely right. Then people are not getting a refund. The cops are going to show up at their house and they're going to be like, yep, we got to take this now. Remember that one girl bragging on Facebook they talked about that was like, I finally have a teenaged person's skull or something, and she was just so happy with the work that he had done in promoting him. Like, where did you think he got that from? Oh my goodness. While checking the area, they located a wood pallet behind a storage unit near the dumpsters, which resembled those which were left behind within the underground vault. On the ground east of the Slack plot and west of the Ogden plot was a NOS energy drink can. The can still had some liquid inside. There was a stamp on the bottom. They were collected as evidence. Cigarette butts were collected too and will be submitted to the lab for testing. The NOS can will be processed for any possible latent prints, swapped for DNA. On December 20th, Detective Sesniak conducted a query of the NOS Energy Drink Production Code, similar to Monster Can. The lettering on the can identifies the month of manufacture. In this case, H revealed that it was manufactured in August. 25 means that it was manufactured in 2025, and the 02113 numbers are the days. However, at this time, it's not clear which numbers stand for day. On December 22nd, 2025, at approximately 14:16 hours, Detective Sesniak was notified by volunteers of Friends of Mount Moriah another burglary had occurred. Detective Sesniak responded, and it was the Campbell family monument, and the marble slab sealing the underground vault was moved, causing a space large enough for someone to access the underground vault below. The vault was approximately 12 feet deep and visible from ground level. Detective Sesniak observed debris and what appeared to be broken wood. At least 3 caskets appeared to have been targeted, revealing broken caskets and sheets. Peevit tore the fucking sheets that are lining the caskets. Yeah. Right. I mean, I agree. Abella said I could sell that skeleton I found at a flea market, but I'm gonna have it buried one of these days. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was an old medical teaching skeleton. Right, and that's different, you know. I mean, like, that obviously is like, you know, one skeleton, like, hey, I've got a skeleton, it was used for a medical school, is different than being like, I can get you the skeleton of a teenager, an infant, a man, a woman, whatever year you want, you know, just hit me up. It'll cost, you know, whatever, $500 per skull. You just tell me what age person you want, even down to fucking infants and shit. Like, that's a lot different than saying, you know, I have a skeleton that was used for a medical school. You know what I mean? It needs to be buried. It was sitting there in an old suitcase in the sun and dust, poor thing. I'm glad that you got it. Yeah, people donate their bodies, and that's probably what it was from, but yeah, they donate their body. Yeah. But they would never desecrate a grave or be so sociopathic. Right. We would go to the graveyard and play with our Ouija board and have seances and stuff, but we never, like, that was as far as that went. And you probably shouldn't do shit like that. We probably shouldn't have been doing it, but, you know, we were teenagers, and teenagers do shit like that. We would have never, like, messed with a headstone, kicked a headstone, messed with a grave, like, none of that. We would never. Like, that, it's weird to me, these people nowadays. Okay. So they gained access to the vault and determined 6 sets of remains were missing. The casket were sealed with a marble slab. The marble slab was removed and broken to identify the caskets. And there was a crowbar in there. Detective Sesniak also recovered a black zip tie to the left of the underground vault, which had been previously locked and cut mid-tie. It should be noted very little debris and dirt were visible on the zip tie, indicating it's not been in the elements for a long period of time. He also located a partially smoked Marlboro cigarette within the Campbell plot. The zip tie will be processed for DNA. On December 23rd at 1540, they were conducting a check of Edinburgh section Mountain Moriah Cemetery and observed a private underground vault within Section 103, the Ziegler family, which appeared to have been tampered with. Upon inspection, they observed fresh tool marks on the stone and slab covering of the underground vault. The slab itself was slightly off center, however, did not reveal a space large enough for a person to enter. He continued to check the underground vaults within Section 103 and discovered a second marble slab from the Vaughan family appeared to have been recently moved. He observed the spacing, allowing it to view down into the vault, however, could not tell if any caskets had been tampered with. I mean, And we don't have to, I'm going to have to go shortly, so we can continue to read all this, or we don't have to read all this. I'm going to kind of shift through it. There's a shit ton. Like here we have the Vogan vault. Had also been tampered with. On December 23rd, the slab of marble was moved, partially revealing the underground vault. Then on the 26th, the marble slab had been placed back over the vault almost perfectly. So at this point, he's starting to figure out that they're onto him. He tried to seal a body, realized they're onto him, and went back and put it back to make it look like nothing happened. Mrs. North said, ethically sourced is one thing. This is not that, though. I lived across the street from a graveyard, and it had a feeling of it being sacred ground. I imagine all very old cemeteries do. I really think it's cool. Like, I still will walk in graveyards, and I think it's really cool to see the old headstones that are almost so worn you can't read them, of like people from the 1800s. I think that's cool, but like I would never desecrate a grave or a body or anything like that. Okay, so the Friends of Mount Moriah advised that no volunteers had moved the vault covers back to the original positions. On December 26th, they conducted an online search of the barcode sticker fixed to a recovered metal stake, which read Colgan's Ltd. That revealed that they specialize in manufacturing and sale of outdoor camping accessories. It's sold in hardware stores throughout Pennsylvania, such as Ace Hardware, True Value, as well as sporting goods stores such as Dick's and Cabela's. The recovered stake was identified as a heavy-duty tent stake, and it looked new. It was relatively clean, and the barcode sticker was in perfect condition. On December 27th, they traveled to the cemetery for additional investigative action. During the survey, detective located the Hassan family plot had been recently tampered with. The scene was processed. On December 29th, they gained access to the vault and determined that 8 sets of human remains were missing. There were some pieces of human bone remaining in the vault, but the majority were missing. The Charlton family plot was observed to be disturbed on the 29th of December. They gained access, and the caskets in the vault were placed into concrete voids sealed with a marble slab. The slabs were removed to gain entry to the casket. One 24-ounce Monster energy drink can was located there. And then the Dieterich family was determined to be disturbed. Entry was gained to the vault, but it could not be determined whether anything was removed. Throughout the course of the investigation, they became aware of additional similar crimes occurred in the Philadelphia section of Mount Moriah Cemetery. The incidents were reported to the Philadelphia DC numbers. The incidents were located as follows: the Baker family vault was missing human remains. Hurst family, DeHaven family, Albuck Steele family, Blankley family, Forshee family, Marshall family, McGoutry family, Steele family, and Captain Gain family. All of those plots were removed and messed with. The Philadelphia cases have similarities to the Yeadon Borough and Plain Township cases as far as how the actors are gaining entry into the mausoleum and underground vaults. Now we have Jonathan Gerlach, who was born in 1991. On December 23rd, Detective Sesniak was contacted by Plains Township Police Department Lepore in reference to a crime tip submitted to the Lancaster City Police Department's Crime Watch portal, which was then forwarded to his police department. The tip was submitted on December 20th at 10:29, entitled Corpse in Basement. The following is the submitted tip. Quote, so somebody sent them a tip, you know, the tip line that we always read about and I share with y'all on here. Somebody actually used it and sent this tip in. And it read, quote, look into Jonathan Gerlach for the Luzerne County Mausoleum robbery. I know someone who's friends with his family, and they mentioned that they recently discovered a, quote, partially decomposed corpse, unquote, hanging in his basement, but were afraid to tell the police. The suspect, he may be behind the Luzerne County mausoleum robbery, which happened around the same time in early November. The mausoleum was robbed between November 1st and 6th, and Jonathan was charged while shoplifting in East Earl Township on Halloween, October 31st. While not a crime, you'll see on his Instagram, and they dropped that he follows account in taxidermy, skeleton collecting, and sales, quote, oddities, unquote, bones, etc. He also disappeared for a few days in November and mentioned that he had been, quote, in Chicago selling a human skull, unquote. The tip was submitted by Christian Hinjosa. Plains Township Detective Thomas Lepore spoke with Hinjosa on the phone December 23rd. Hinjosa stated that he spoke with Jonathan Gerlach's brother, Josh Gerlach, and Josh's wife, Alexandria Gerlach, who stated that while Josh and Alexandria, were at Jonathan's residence, they observed a partially decomposed body hanging like a, quote, display, unquote, in the basement. It was described to Hinjosa as tied and held under the shoulders. Hinjosa stated that Josh and Alexandria were in and out of the residence and could not describe many details, such as the smell or clothing. Josh and Alexandria related to Hinjosa that the remains were from a male body. Hinjosa further related to Detective Lepore that Jonathan's social media pages were filled with taxidermy, oddities, and skeleton collecting posts. Due to the close relationship of Josh and Alexandria Gerlach to Jonathan Gerlach, detectives determined that it would not be a prudent investigative step to contact them at this time for a firsthand account of what they observed. On December 23rd, Szczesniak conducted a search warrant of Jonathan Gerlach through the Pennsylvania DMV, and it returned a record of Jonathan Christian Gerlach. Date of birth was September 24th of 1991. Last known address was in Partra, Pennsylvania. On that day, December 23rd of 2025, an East Township police report was received. The report states that on November 6th of 2025 at 9:12, officers from the East Earl Township Police Department responded to a complaint of retail theft at a local hardware store. So he's selling the skeletons and stealing the shit to go get the skeletons. Like leaving monster drinks, even a pair of fucking shoes behind at these mausoleums. This motherfucker, like, biggest dumbass I've ever seen. I mean, again, I know this says woman, but this man is a fucking dumbass.
This woman here is a dumbass.
Like, to the fullest extent. I ain't never in my life seen no shit this damn stupid. How fucking stupid can you be? So the owner of the business responded to their headquarters and reported a theft of approximately $167.43 worth of merchandise. The owner provided video footage of the actor concealing the items on his person and eventually passing all points of sale without paying the full retail value thereof. It should be noted that the items Gerlach is accused of stealing are a headlamp, an LED rechargeable glow stick, a hammer drill, size medium, a hammer drill bit, size medium. So that's like a jackhammer almost. Ace gloves and a metal cutting board. A metal cutting wheel based on your affiant's training and experience. These items are common tools burglars use to commit crimes. It's also suspicious as to why Gerlach concealed and stole these items as opposed to paying the total as he did the other $250 worth of merchandise. So he went in there and paid $250 for some merchandise, yet proceeded to steal $167 worth of merchandise. I mean, again, this man here is a fucking dumbass. Jesus. Talk about dumb criminals. Wow. So the business owner further informed East Earl police officers that the actor of the theft utilized his Ace Rewards card. Y'all, this motherfucker put his MVP card number in. He put his customer card in. You know, the card that you scan where you like put your phone number in or your name and it saves money? Y'all. Wow.
Now what the fuck is going on?
Are you fucking kidding me? Wow. Wow. So he put his rewards card in when he purchased $250 worth of merchandise and a MasterCard. Like, he couldn't even pay with cash. He used his MasterCard, which is going to have his fucking name on it, and traced directly back to him. Hell no. He ain't even, like, that light bulb's been blown out for some years now. That's how bad that shit is. Lord have mercy. The owner of the store was able to identify him as Jonathan C. Gerlach because he used his Ace Rewards information. The owner of the hardware store also provided the police with video footage of him entering a burgundy Toyota RAV4 bearing Pennsylvania registration KJR 1378. Officer Officer Twaddle conducted a check of the registration through the Pennsylvania DMV, and it returned a registered owner of Jonathan Christian Gerlach. On or about November 6th of 2025, the officer, we read that, and it located a photograph also of Jonathan Gerlach. Officer Twaddle notes in his police report that Gerlach's driver's license photograph matches the actor of the theft of the hardware store. The East Earl police report documented that Gerlach's telephone number was 717-682-0140. The black tent stake located and seized as evidence on December 26 near the Ziegler family vault, and with the knowledge of Gerlach committed the retail theft in the East Earl Township on Halloween in mind, they contacted East Earl Township Twaddle and requested that he send a copy of the hardware store receipts for the merchandise Gerlach purchased with his credit card on the day of the theft. The receipt revealed that on October 31st of 2025, Halloween, Gerlach purchased 9 items utilizing his MasterCard that totaled $250 approximately. One of them, the items purchased, was the tent stake that was sealed in 12 inches. Detective Sesniak measured the recovered stake that was located near the Ziegler plot on December 26th and confirmed that it was in fact 12 inches in length. They completed a criminal summons for the incident docketed under with preliminary hearing date of January 7th. The court is located here. So now we have his phone. So they've got the they found out that he has bought that tent stake, and it's the same stake that was located at the family plot. Forrest said, yep, this guy was definitely quite a few sandwiches short of a few picnic of it. Lord, I cannot read. I've been reading too much. I can't read. Forrest said, yep, this guy was definitely quite a few sandwiches short of a full picnic. Yep.
Boom, 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 bam.
Missing a couple of screws, not the sharpest tool in the shed, not the brightest crayon in the box. Lord have mercy. All right, so this is going to tell us about his phone. So on December 23rd, they queried about his phone number through Clear. They learned that it was owned and operated by Verizon Wireless and was located with the account Jonathan Gerlach, and his Instagram was accessed too. He conducted a public search of Gerlach's Instagram account under the name Jonathan Gerlach, and it gives that. He compared photographs posted and tagged on said account to photos they had that they knew were him and determined them to be the same person. A search of the 533 accounts and pages Gerlach is following revealed an abundance of accounts referencing skeleton collecting, corpses, taxidermy, quote, human skull store, unquote, oddities, and bone museums. Another one of Gerlach's followers on Instagram is Brian Staley. Brian is spelled the same way as the name etched on the recovered screwdriver on November 7th of 2025. On December 24th, Detective Sesniak and Carr sent a preservation request to Meta for the Instagram account. They checked his Facebook. They conducted a public search for accounts associated with Gerlach, and they got his Facebook, the same profile picture as the aforementioned Facebook account and Instagram account. Facebook, quote, human bones and skull selling group, unquote, was also on there. Detective Carr continued his open source public related search and located the Facebook group Human Bones and Skull Selling Group. A search for posts related to Gerlach in this group revealed a post by a Facebook user, Duffy John, on October 16th of 2025, which stated, quote, mail call, yet as always, LOL, got a possible teen now in the collection, and a baboon and a monkey that was part of a human skin bag. Thanks. NFS. So she was thanking him for a teenage skull that she now has in with her baboon skulls and her human skin bag, I guess. Yeah. They definitely were not fucking around, that's for sure. So they got his Cash App. Cash App is a digital wallet. Detective Carr entered Gerlach's phone number into Cash App, which revealed his cash tag of Jonathan Gerlach. Profile revealed username Jonathan Christian Gerlach. Profile picture was of an unknown person holding what appeared to be a human skull in front of their face. They requested a packet check of all vehicles registered to Gerlach and only got the Toyota RAV4. On December 25th, they conducted a Viper license plate reader search of Gerlach's vehicle, and through the license plate reader things, beginning November 1st through December 23rd, Gerlach's vehicle was found to be in the following places. On November 2nd at 1655 north on Church Lane at Bailey Road in Yeadon. The same day at 1709 westbound Baltimore Avenue and Church Lane, Upper Darby. On November 2nd, northbound on Garrett Road at Lansdowne Avenue, Upper Darby. On the 8th of November at 345 westbound on the 6400 block of Market Street, Upper Darby. And then on December 17th at 829 westbound on Main Street at 5th at Darby Borough. The dates are significant as the estimated time frame for when the burglaries occurred fall within these dates. It's important to note that prior to the beginning of November, when the burglaries were first reported, Gerlach's vehicle had never passed through any license plate readers within the Delaware County, let alone the lower end of Delaware County near Mount Moriah Cemetery. On December 26th, he requested that a search for Gerlach's vehicle be conducted through the Viper system. As a result, Gerlach's vehicle was documented on a Vigilant mobile license plate reader on December 24th of 2025 at 229 in the 6100 block of Kensington Avenue. This is significant as the Philadelphia portion of Mount Moriah Cemetery is located along this roadway. The physical address for Mount Moriah Cemetery is on Kensington Avenue. Kensington or Kensington? On December 27th, they searched Gerlach's vehicle through the Axiom plate reader system. Gerlach's vehicle was observed on December 24th of 2025 at 28 hours, 6:30 and 12:54, parked in the 6100 block of Kensington Avenue, right next to Mount Moriah Cemetery. So they got him placed at the cemetery. So on December 23rd, they were conducting a directed patrol of the Mount Moriah Cemetery and observed a Toyota RAV4 parked off the roadway in the grass outside of the parking area designated for vehicles. The vehicle was positioned between two tree limbs that had fallen in the grass. There was no visible obstructions blocking the parking lot area of the cemetery, which leads Detective Czesniak to reasonably believe the operator of the vehicle was attempting to conceal themselves by motorists traveling by the cemetery. So he conducted a search of the Toyota's displayed registration. The records returned a registration of Gerlach, Jonathan Gerlach. He completed his check of the cemetery grounds and returned to the entrance of the cemetery, and the RAV4 was gone. He checked the area, and they found more energy drink cans seated on the front passenger seat of the Toyota. After speaking with the police department, they found out his last known address. Lancaster County, Pennsylvania was where he lived, and they observed the Toyota RAV4 bearing the registration in a parking lot near 100 Washington Avenue. Cell phone records basically put him in Mount Moriah Cemetery on October 31st from 22:30 hours to November 1st at 8:50, November 1st from 11:38 to November 2nd at 16:48, November 3rd at 13:35 to 17:06, November 7th from 23:39 to November 8th at 3:13 a.m. So he was there. Then they found out that he was also at a storage locker several times. They conducted surveillance at the cemetery. The cemetery was closed to the public at the time, and they observed Gerlach's vehicle parked unaccompanied on the Cemetery Avenue, Chestnut Avenue, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which is adjacent to the cemetery. In plain view inside the vehicle, there were numerous bones and skulls in the back seat of the vehicle. Detectives later observed Gerlach exiting the cemetery, walking back toward his vehicle, carrying a burlap bag, a crowbar, and other assorted items. Gerlach was taken into custody at the time and located in the burlap bag were human remains. Gerlach was Mirandized and stated that he removed the human bones from a grave within Mount Moriah Cemetery. Gerlach walked the rider to the grave site he took the remains from and explained how he opened the grave with the crowbar. Additionally, Gerlach's vehicle's keys were located behind the gravesite. Gerlach was later interviewed at Delaware County CID headquarters, where he admitted to stealing approximately 30 sets of human remains from Mount Moriah Cemetery. So he's arrested by the police, grabbing shit out of the cemetery, and he's left his keys. He finds the police find the keys when they make him go back and show the fucking area that he was stealing graves from. Mark, thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member. I greatly appreciate that, and I appreciate your support. That was so nice of you. Hey, Native Girl, good to see you. It's so good to see you. I saw you were doing big things over there. That's awesome. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I'm going to grab the crazy train to pick you up on the way to Speculation Station. It's good to see you, Mark. I'm so glad you're here. And it said that you had also been a member for 4 months. Thank you so much for the continued support. Mark said, boom. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for sharing that milestone with us. That is amazing. Amazing. I got to give you an amazing from Basil. And then you gifted 10 memberships. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. I'm going to try to see who that went to. Hold on just a minute. That was so very sweet of you. Thank you so much, Mark. I ain't seen you in a minute. I know you're covering the Haro case over there, and they said that you let everybody know that the court date was rescheduled. We were going to head over there after I got done going through some of these documents. So those memberships went to Tamara Marie, Tony M.Y., M. Greenlaw, Jump AZ, Debbie Satterfield, Drippy Thoughtsickel, Kelly Owen, Zen Jen, Erica J, and Just Larkin. If you guys were gifted from Mark and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Mark thank you. Thank you so much, Mark, for doing that. If you don't know, we are going to have a drawing at the end of the month, and 3 people are going to win some gift things that I'm going to put together. And so all you got to do is be a member, and I will ship out of like overseas if somebody overseas wins. So if you become a member now through the end of the month, you will be automatically entered to win. Thank you so much for that, Mark. And I will grab the crazy train to pick all our new members up. Again, if you guys were gifted, please tell Mark thank you. Thank you so much, Mark. That was super sweet of you. Thank you so much. And then I saw that Native girl became a member. Thank you so much for becoming a member, and thank you for the support. That was super sweet of you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm going to grab the crazy train to pick you up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much, you guys. That was so very sweet of you. It's raining memberships and people becoming members. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a good day, Mark. Yeah, go sub up to Mark's channel. We're going to jump over there in a minute to see what is going on in the Haro case. All right, so they got him with a crowbar, a bag full of bones, and he left his keys behind the gravesite when they arrested him. Upon execution of a search warrant, detectives observed over 100 human skulls, numerous human long bones, mummified human feet and hands, 2 decomposing human torsos, and other skeletal items. Lord have mercy. On January 7th, they interviewed Natalie Tamulo. Tamulo stated she believed that Gerlach has a storage locker in the area, but does not know where. They found the storage unit. The employee on the phone stated that he does have a storage locker there. They also called KO Storage and provided Gerlach's name. The employee confirmed that Gerlach is currently renting locker AA23. Gerlach declined to provide consent for his locker and stated that there was just personal items in there. So they didn't let him, they asked him, could they search the storage locker? And he was like, nope, it's just personal items, but you're not allowed to search it. I don't want you going in there. Stay the fuck out of it. Right. Okay. Right. So, they got a cadaver dog from Middle Creek Search and Rescue to go to the storage unit. It was a black Labrador certified by American Police Work Dog Association, and they're certified to detect the odor of human remains on land and in water for 9 months. Canine Cody was his name, and he's been utilized before. The dog, Canine Cody, was taken by its handler to the area where it indicated that there is an odor of human remains inside the storage locker. Conclusion: your affiant reasonably believes that Jonathan Gerlach utilized his RAV4 and was in possession of his cellular phone and utilized both in furtherance of his criminal action. Additionally, evidence from the aforementioned crimes was located within his residence at Washington Avenue, to include over 100 human skulls, numerous human long bones, mummified human feet and hands, 2 decomposing human torsos, and other skeletal items. His cellular phone was utilizing cellular resources that cover Mount Moriah Cemetery on 5 separate occasions prior to the burglaries and thefts being discovered. On January 6th, his vehicle was observed at the cemetery. He was arrested with his cellular phone on him, which he was utilizing in that area to cover the cemetery. And when he was arrested, he had human remains on his person. He admitted to removing approximately 30 sets of human remains from Mount Moriah Cemetery and storing them in his basement. Based on the aforementioned, he reasonably believes that Gerlach owned and utilized a storage locker currently, as well as dating back to the dates and incidents in questions, and would utilize that storage locker based on the cellular evidence in close proximity to the times that his phones had him located at the cemetery. Due to the breadth, length, and score of Gerlach activity in Delaware County, your affiant is reasonably believes that he requires additional storage other than what the items that were found in his house. This is supported by the fact when asked about the storage locker, he became hesitant and would not provide consent to search. Your affiant reasonably believes that body parts or skeletal remains are inside the storage locker, given the positive hit by the cadaver dog. Your affiant has probable cause to believe that material evidence will be found inside the storage locker, including but not limited to additional remains from the mausoleum previously referenced and or additional remains from burglaries and break-ins of cemeteries. The storage locker has a blue roll-up door and 2 padlocks. It tells about the storage locker, and they request a warrant to search the locker. I don't have much more time. I think they might be the same. But basically, they get into the storage locker, I'm assuming. This one is from January 7th. We've read most of this. It's all the same. Yep, that's the part talking about his Cash App. Oh, we got a picture here. So, let's see. So that's where they arrested him, right? And he admitted to having 30 sets of human remains. Gerlach stated that he sold some remains online, but that the vast majority of them were in the basement of his current residence located at 100 Washington Avenue, that he shares with his fiancée, Natalie Tumlow. On January 7th, detectives from Delaware County Euphoria Police Department and assisting agencies executed a search warrant. Upon execution, detectives observed over 100 human skulls, the long bones, mummified human feet and hands, 2 decomposing human torsos, assorted skeletal items, earrings, rings, and buttons, clothing, and miscellaneous items were believed to be removed from the graves by Gerlach. Some of those items are depicted below. I think that shows jewelry. That's a do-it-yourself copper wire kit, like he's making jewelry, but it shows some type of jewelry. His girlfriend is a professional photographer. Imagine that. Interesting. So they interviewed the girlfriend. She stated she believed that Gerlach had a storage locker in the area, but doesn't know where. They knew where it was. The employee on the phone gave the name, all of that. The dog hit. And on January 7th, they applied for and was granted a search warrant for the unit. They executed the search warrant and located an additional 8 human corpses, miscellaneous body parts, what is believed to be human remains in the form of ash, older style jewelry, including but not limited to earrings, rings, buttons, clothing, and miscellaneous items believed to be removed from graves by Gerlach. Based on the appearance, wear, and style of the jewelry and clothing located in the storage unit, your affiant reasonably believed these items were removed from graves and the human remains. His house was a 3-story twin home. The front screen door had the number 100 in black. There's a black mailbox to the left of the door and 1 window to the left of the mailbox. There's an open front porch leading to the door. There's 1 window on the 2nd floor, 1 window on the 3rd floor, each facing Washington Avenue. So they talk about his phone being there and thinking that, they reasonably believe that he stole human remains. He used his phone. They believe that he utilized the storage unit dating back to the dates and incidents in question based on the cellular evidence. They also believe that he kept additional remains in the storage locker based on the recovery after the execution of the search warrant. They believed that with the remains in the storage locker were jewelry and other valuables consistent with the time period many of the mausoleums that had been vandalized were buried, and that Gerlach also took these items when taking skeletal remains. They observed the similar type of jewelry at Gerlach's residence in Pennsylvania and reasonably believe the two were taken during the burglaries of various mausoleums. Wherefore, they have probable cause to believe additional material and evidence will be found inside of his house, specifically jewelry, keepsakes, and other valuables that were inside of various graves burglarized by him. So they requested another search warrant for his house to seize any and all human remains, bones, skulls, skeletal remains, nameplates, or caskets, jewelry, clothing, ashes, and or any items located inside the storage unit that are believed to be removed from caskets and human remains. So there's 6 of these documents. Like, there's no way I can get through them. But it's like pretty much the same thing, right? So now they've got a search warrant to go back to his house and look for more jewelry. And I'm just trying to see. Oh, there's another picture of the jewelry. So they located 8 corpses, miscellaneous body parts, what's believed to be human remains in the form of ash, older style jewelry included but not limited to earrings, rings, and buttons, clothing, and miscellaneous items believed to be removed from graves by Gerlach. Some of those items are here. That looks like a bunch of buttons. I know it's kind of hard to see because it's in black and white. Hold on just a minute. I think my children burned something. I'll be right back. I think it smells like burnt pinto beans. So give me just 1 second. All right, everything's good. It says girlfriend taking pictures of the jewelry. Is she involved in this at all? Not that I can see. She just spoke about the storage unit. I'm not seeing anything on it. It just talks about him taking the jewelry. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, the pictures on his Facebook did look pretty professional. So they asked to seize all the items. I think the rest of these are from December that talk about him stealing from the graves. All right, so if you want to continue to look at these documents, you can find them on my Patreon. You can also find them on Gavin Fish's Patreon if you are a member over there. I'm going to grab Gavin Fish's YouTube link, and then we're going to stroll on over to Mark's, and I'm going to drop his link so that you guys, we can see what happened today at the Rebecca Haro hearing. All right, so this is the link to Gavin Fish. If you guys have not subscribed to him, please do so. He's got a lot of great information. Not my drink over. He's got a lot of great information on cases. He's really good. I always think about him, Plunder, and Strategic together. They all do really good. See, there he is 20 hours ago going over the same thing. Definitely check that out. Let's go to Mark. Okay. So I'm not going to play his whole video, but I'm going to see. I'm going to drop his link. If you guys are not subscribed to Mark, make sure you do so. It was moved to the 26th of March. Okay. I won't go through your video like that because I don't want to play your whole video. He just streamed this one 59 minutes ago, and it says, "Where's baby Emmanuel? Rebecca Haro court update." I don't know why I cannot speak today. So go check that out. Mark let us know that Rebecca Haro court hearing, they moved her next court date to the 26th of March. Thank you for that. And you guys go check out what he said, because I'm assuming you were there, and he gives really good details, description about, like, you know, what he sees, what it looks like, and all of that. So definitely go and check him out. I am probably going to end it here because I really have to go here in just a minute to an appointment. Thank you so much, Mark. I really appreciate that. I'm going to also drop this link to this video so you guys can, like, go directly from here over there to check that out and see what he had to say about it, because he'll give you all the information you need to know. Tom, good to see you. Said, is Rebecca Haro still sticking with that the tamale man did it story? I don't know. That's a good question. I know she's pleading not guilty. She's probably going to pin everything on Jake since he's already pled guilty and going to jail for 25 years, I think they said. Yes, thank you, Mark. Hola. I wasn't able to go. I'll be there for the 26th of March. Okay, so still go check him out. Definitely go check him out. Mark is definitely a friend of the channel, so make sure you check him out. And as you can see, he's been covering several of those cases out there. Oh, he had Steve Fisher on. That's awesome. I'm glad you were able to get up with him. I would love to interview Steve Fisher. I'm definitely going to have to check that out. Oh, yeah, I'm on camera now. Yeah. I usually look a little better than I do today. I just threw my hair in a ponytail and rolled with it. Yeah, we need a little homie update. How is the little homie? Can't remember his name. On the tira. I think he's still doing good. Let's see what we can find real quick. Try it again. Okay. Hold on. So yeah, he posted 2 days ago, I can do all things through Christ. Definitely still out there doing the damn thing. Just like Mark and all those people that are out there in California and able to go check this stuff out and give us updates and all of that. Mark's been covering quite a few things too. So definitely, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you guys. Ahmed, thank you, a little bit of Lisa. All right, y'all, I'm going to go for the day. I want to thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much for the support. You guys are amazing, and I really, really appreciate the support. It helps so much. Make sure that if you want to be entered to win bracelets and cards from Abraham, and I'm going to do some wood burnings and like some like organic remedy things. I want to make this organic Botox stuff that I use, and it really is great. It gets rid of fine lines and stuff. It's really great. We're going to do a gift thing. I also have these stickers. These are the original allegedly speculating stickers, and very few people have these stickers. These are the very first stickers I ever had. I actually have one on the back of my phone. So you'll get some of these too if you win the drawing at the end of the month. So if you want to be entered to win, all you got to do is be a member. And so definitely do that if you want to be entered. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for being here. Mark the Shark became a member. Thank you so much for that. And also shared the 4-month milestone and gifted 10 memberships. He was out here doing the damn thing. Thank you so much for that. And the Native Girl became a member as well. Thank you guys for that. I appreciate the support. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Yes. Get you a gentleman like Mark, ladies, said Jenny Jen. Yes. Mr. Speculating is a really good guy. You guys got to get you a good man. Good night, everybody. I will see y'all tomorrow. If nobody's told you, you are enough. You are important. You are special. And you are always very loved. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Thank you for being here. Be safe tonight. Bye.